You know, I've always got plenty of bishops and knight positions open on the board, looking for how, you get a straight enough move, you can make things rook inside here. Queen positions are generally locked up, though. What are you doing here?
Welcome back to
Well,
Recitation.
obviously, on my chessboard,
In
that's
this
got to be
video, I
Sophia
want us to work
Germain.
on some problems looking
Generally,
at
who's running the black queen over
integrals
here,
that may
or Umbrella
converge or
Corporation, I forget
diverge. So these
what
are
that
improper
one
integrals,
giant
and we want to
vampire's
know
name is over here.
if each of the integrals
the
below
black queen,
converges or
queen,
diverges.
and Russian for stem.
And if they converge, I want you to compute them. I want you to
Generally, I
actually
give up an
evaluate
M1
and
and
find
M2 to
the
all
number
positions on
that
topology.
is the area under the curve. So that's really, remember what
And
the
I've been
integral
looking
is.
for this one for Berkeley.
So we should
and
be
she's
able
got
to
this
find
real,
actually
just real.
the finite number that represents that. So there are three of them. The first one is the integral from 0 to infinity of cosine x dx.
It's all fair
The
competition
second one
with
is
your
the integral
games.
from
These are
0
all
to 1
snowflakes
of
on a piece
natural
of
log
paper
x
coming down in
divided by
slow
x
motion,
to the
right?
1/2 dx. So that's just square root x. Right down there. And the third one is the integral from -1 to 1 of x to the minus 2/3.
Like I said, as soon as you hit this, you can
So
immediately
why don't you
pull
take a while to
right
work
out.
on
Go
this,
to
pause the
big
video,
ones. I'm talking.
and when you're feeling good about your
Obviously,
answers,
if that's the
bring the
top
video
end
back
of
up.
it, start going
I'll
through
be
the
back
list.
to and then to
There's
show
where
you
they
how I do
are.
them.
Then it has to be Newton. As much as Newton's first on a different board for doing different standards of how this function kind of plays out and what its design model is.
Okay, welcome back. Well, hopefully you were able to answer these questions. So the question again was that we wanted to know if the following integrals converged or diverged.
It's not even that I don't disagree
and then
with
I wanted
this
us
if
to
I'm going
actually
to bring
compute
this
them
to
if
the
they
table
converged.
and point in this
So
direction.
again, we're going to start with the integral of cosine
Generally,
x dx, then we'll
it's
look at the integral of natural log x over root
in
x
its
dx,
form,
and then we'll look
because
at
you're
the
going to
integral
wind
from
up,
-1 to 1
as soon as you have one
x
of
to the
these, it
minus
just goes
2/3
Bernoulli.
dx.
And then
So let's look at
maybe
the
you
first
could
one.
play hydrogen because they all going to want it straight over to helium.
And I'll rewrite it up
but
here
look,
so we
when
have
you get
it.
out to Falovium on the periodic table, that stuff's pretty
Okay, and
radioactive.
this is kind of interesting because maybe this is a little bit different than what you have seen previously in the way of saying this is potentially improper.
Universe
Because
loaf again.
cosine x certainly
in.
doesn't blow up anywhere, right? It's bounded between -1 and 1, so the function itself is not blowing up.
Well, that's.
But let's look at actually what we get when we try and evaluate
because
this.
generally
So if we
I'm
take
running with this, but
integral,
because you don't have MIT,
we know the
setting up the
antiderivative
base,
of cosine is
it's gonna
negative.
undermine
No,
it.
it's just sine. Sorry, it's just sine x. Right?
Liquefaction
The
of
derivative
the
of sine
damn
is cosine.
differential
So we get
still makes it fast.
sine
so
x, and what we're supposed to
time
do
would be a differential
is
on
we're supposed to
approximations
take.
of values Sam's rolling in and where you
We're
gotta
supposed
go.
to take the limit
It's the descent
as
stock,
b
the
goes
cheapest
to
model,
infinity
path of
of
least
sine
travel
x
on the
evaluated
dot
from
roll
0
here,
to b.
dot plan, dot
Right,
path.
and so this is pretty straightforward. Again, now it's the limit as b goes to infinity of sine b, because sine of 0 is 0.
Line.
And now here's where we run into trouble, because this limit doesn't exist.
That's
Right,
fair.
because as b goes
Neither
to
do this
infinity,
one.
sine b,
Black hole.
the function
But
sine
unless
x, so
you-
now it's really the function sine b.
Black
B is
hole
now the
will
variable, if we think about it
singularity
that way.
hydrogen at
As b goes to infinity,
superpositions
sine
of
is going to
the physical
oscillate, as
limit
it always does,
at those
between
fields.
-1 and 1.
The
And it's
first
going to
observation
continue
of
to do
radio
that. It's not
signal
going to
gives me something
approach a certain
gravity
value and
for sure, even if
stay
it's fuzz. I look in this
arbitrarily close to
direction,
that
it's-
value
and
as
if fuzzy's
b goes
different,
off to infinity. So this
still-
limit does not exist.
Yeah, when some brother looks at you and tells you you
And
can't find a
maybe
limit
what's
between general
informative is
relativity
to
and
think
special
about
relativity, you take him to
how
MIT.
could this
You take him
happen
there.
as an integral. If we know that the integral we're
next one.
looking for is